This is Eddie Cologne with the House of Rags, and in this video we're doing a product overview. Kind of want to walk you through a little context as to what we created, why we created it, and what's different about it. So a long time ago when I started detailing, before EC Details, before my channel, before all this, there was two main staples in my product that I used, and I want to thank this man for the love of it. So Dave Barker, if you don't know him, he makes detail kegs. No, we don't sell it at the store. This is part of the story. In the detail kegs, he started with the spray on, then he created the foam on, and then we used the product and the double flips. And I've always, my whole rinseless journey has been double flips. I use the double flips more than I use the sponge. I think sponge has a place, truly has a place. You know, the creator of the sponge was insane. That's a great idea because you don't have to do laundry and things of that nature. But I always use 2 or 3 double flips in my wash process, every wash. And I would just do laundry at the end of that or at the end of the week. And in that process, I used the foam and rinseless. I actually used it in the keg to foam it on, or I would use an IK sprayer to foam it on, or a foam cannon if I was going to go that route and let it dwell. So we created our version of that to pay homage to the old school. And if you haven't seen it, links in the description below. You can see more about this product. In this video though, what I want to do for you is, I guess, an overview. Many faces of Loki is what I want to call it. And then I want to tell you what's different about it than Nemesis. Nemesis to me was just to be a cleaner. It does not foam. He's lying. It does foam in a bucket slightly. The new modified version of it should not, but it will never foam in a foam cannon for you if you tried. It won't foam in a sprayer. It was meant to be more of a cleaner and more of a traditional rinseless. And I'll put it up there with DIY V1, V2, Hero, things of that nature, cleaning power, McKee's. Loki, on the other hand, is super surfactant. Leans more on the surfactant side, has polymers in there for the wetting part of it, so the wetting agents. And this one can be foamed. So I'm gonna show you the several ways you can use it. Now, when you're diluting this in the bucket, if you're not looking for the heavy foam and you want to use a sponge, my suggestion to you is use it 3 to 4 to 1. So about 1 ounce to 3 gallons of water would kill the foam a little bit. Or you can use a 256 to 1, which if you read the label, that's what I put on label. So you could play with the mixture how you want. And that's why I said it's the many faces of Loki. You could use it in a sprayer. You could use it in an IK foamer. And then you could use it in your foaming detailing keg, or you could foam it on the car with a foam cannon. We're gonna go through that in this video today of the many ways to use it and how to collapse the foam. Let me go back a second. When you're using a hybrid rinseless wash, there's the 2 most annoying things ever. One, when you foam it on and you try to do the rinseless method, your towel, right? The towel you're using tends to get all the foam on there. People get upset. What we wanted was, and the chemist did an amazing job doing this, is the more water you introduce. So if you have a towel, which I'll show you with the towel, and it has soaked and you wash the panel, the foam collapses, then you could dry and you're good to go. So I'm gonna show you all that in this video. Can't wait to show you. While it's playing, let me show you the nastiness of this car. It is absolutely hammered. The car is toast in the sense of me, because I usually keep myself clean. But it's got grime, it's got dirt, it's got road film, and we're gonna tackle this with one product today. We're not gonna use any citrus. We're gonna use any Pretreat. We're gonna use Loki to see if Loki can handle the heavy jobs. Let's roll. Let's talk dilutions for a second, okay? I have my cup here, and I have this. Inside of my keg on this side, I have about 1.5 gallons of water. So I'm actually gonna do a Pretreat of 5 ounces, 5 to 6 ounces of the product. You're like, Eddie, why are you doing that? You can go 8 if you wanna go 20 to 1, but as a Pretreat, I'm gonna go a little heavier, and I'm gonna pour that into my bucket. For a traditional bucket wash, I'm only gonna use about 1 ounce and 3 gallons of water. Let me show you here. My keg here, I'm gonna pour that in. I'm gonna close that. And again, I used about 4 ounces to 5 ounces, depending on how much foam you want. And I'm gonna use that as a Pretreat because you can see the car is gnarly. Right now, just to recap, we have our keg, which has a Pretreat of 20 to 1. You don't have to do it that much. I'm just telling you can to get that foam. We're gonna show you the foam. I'm gonna have it in my traditional rinseless bucket with this, and doing a traditional 3 to 4 to 1 or 256 to 1, whatever you want. And then we're gonna put in a foam cannon, and a foam cannon, I'm gonna put 3 ounces to 4 ounces, depending on the level of foam I want. So for the wet foam, I would usually do 10 to 1, 9 to 1, 8 to 1, or a little more. Again, this is a rinseless wash, so you'll need a little more than soap to get it to foam. The smell, if you've ever been to a hotel room, you ever been to one of those hotel rooms where you're like, oh, you know what? I want some water, and they take it and it smells like cucumbers and mint. That's kind of that smell. Smell it here. Yeah, you can smell it there. It's like a cucumber, sweet melon, cucumber mint stuff. My wife and my daughter picked the scent, and the chemist's family picked the scent. So I let them pick it because I picked Nemesis. They picked me. You know, it's a family thing, and it's not too intrusive, so it's not so heavy or so in your face. It's a little milder of a smell. So I'm gonna pour that into my bucket. So we have this panel. You can see all the dirt here. We're gonna use it our traditional way. Again, 384-to-1. I got my sprayer here, and I'm gonna let that sit on half the panel so you can see how it does cleaning it. I have a legacy sponge, and again, just to show you visually, when you use a sponge, you're gonna get foaming. That's just part of it, right? If you don't wanna do that, the best way to do it would be with a double flip or a towel of your choice. And you can put many towels or a wash mitt or several wash mitts. It's just a different way of thinking, right? So for the sponge dough, we'll come in, we'll hit that. And you can see all the dirt on there. I just, one dunk in the bucket will take that off, right? So how I like to do it is I come in with the double flip or a sponge, and I clean, get it in, and come out. And you can see the dirt, and then the road film comes off. And then I would just dry that. That's my traditional way of doing this as a rinseless wash. Drying towel, and it's slick on a towel because of the wetting agents. It doesn't have any protections on it. So that's one of the things that we wanted to tackle on here due to what Nemesis wasn't, was the drying. You can see my towel is clean, and that's dry, good to go. I'll show you on the other side how I would use a keg that foams as a pre-treat, how I used to do it back in the day to get all this grime and road film off. And again, you could do it the traditional way, which I did here, with a couple towels, a couple double flips, or with your sponge. If you do it with your sponge, just know this is what you're gonna get. You wanna keep it a little more wet. So you know how your toes just the verge is dripping? This one, I would not do that. I will leave it wet so it collapses the foam on the car. And I'll show you an example on this panel. So I have it pre-diluted in the keg. The keg is a foaming keg. Again, we don't sell it. I put the links in the description to Dave, he's a good guy. But this is how I would tackle this before with another product in a foaming keg. I would pre-treat the whole car, let it sit for as long as I can, and I'll show you the way I would do it if you're gonna do it like a hybrid wash. Generally, when you're using something of that, when you're cleaning with the rinseless wash, you want to pre-spray that off. Sometimes you can't, it's winter. So I would come in, and I would pre-spray the panel like that. And I will let that sit. And I will let that sit for as long as I can. And you can see it pulling the dirt down. We're using different surfactants. I'll grab the bottom there, and I will go around this whole car like I used to in the past. And I would typically come here, grab the lowers, online say when they foam like this, they felt like they weren't getting, it was hard for them to wash. So I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna bring you in closer to show you how to tap. I have this part right here. I have a double flip or a towel. I would keep my towel dripping like that. I would go top to bottom and I would roll it. And you can see how much of the dirt came off, but also how much fell. Now this right here is enough to come in and dry. So look, I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna dry. Zero dirt on my towel, but that's how you would do this type of rinseless if you're gonna use it as a hybrid wash. Then I would flip my side over. You have a double flip has 4 sides. I would come in, same thing. Then I would flip my other side over, come in, same thing. And you're just collapsing the foam. And what that does to encapsulate, you can either use that again or use another one. And then you have 8 sides to a towel. flip that over, and then I would come in on this side. I would dip that in my bucket, come in, and you can see how it just starts to break down the dirt. Now, you're like, Eddie, that's a mess. No, dude, the beauty of this is when you come to dry, look at the towel. Look, when you come to dry, there you go, easy. It doesn't get your towel soapy. It doesn't get it soapy. You don't feel like you're fighting the foam. So it can foam for those who are in between, okay? Let me show you this. That panel is clean, you would agree. But we're gonna foam this mug on here. Now, even that to me is a little too much foam, okay? What I would do in this instance is dial it back, add more water by dialing the knob back, introducing more water here, just to get it more wet. I'd rather it wet when I'm doing a rinseless wash so I don't have to tackle the foam, because you will be battling the foam if you do it this thick. But if you want to do it as a wash, I'm gonna show you this. Foam I would do, remember, you could go as thick as you want. I'm just showing you, this is me adding water. I can make it go as thick as I want. But if I'm doing a wash with the pressure washer and I want to use my wash mitt, you grab yourself a wash boss here, you come in and you could still do your cleaning, and I could go straight into a drying, because the more water you introduce from a mitt, the more this collapses. And my sponge, you can see my towel, has no soap on it. It just dies. There we have it. I walked you through the several ways to use Loki Hybrid Wash. How I use it would probably be in a foaming keg, IK Foam E, or a pump sprayer. Pre-treat the whole car, let it sit, let the foam do the work, come back with the rinseless wash, clean it, dry it. That's how I would do it. But you're not limited to that. You can use it how you want, but these are different ways. In a foam cannon, again, play with your dilutions of what you like for foam. In an IK sprayer, if you're gonna use it as a pre-treat, you can use 3 or 4 ounces and 1.5 gallons of water to get you that more clean on the car. Or you could do 350, 384 to 1, 512 to 1, 256 to 1. The dilutions are what you want, depending on the foam in the bucket. And that is Loki Hybrid Wash. With that said, everything used in this video, links in the description below. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. We appreciate you supporting the House of Rags. It means a lot to Jamie and I and our families. And we'll see you next time. We're out.